Okay, this year today we're going to be talking about Yerushalayim in the time of the first temple. Now, in the time of the first temple, Yerushalayim was not the size Yerushalayim is today. You basically had an area called Ir David. Ir David included in it the temple, which I'll point to right now. This is the temple. And the city of David, where all the Jews lived, was on the bottom of the hill to where the Jewish quarter is today. Any ideas? Avinoam, Arya, Louis, Yedidia? Okay, wrong, Yedidia.
It's
Louis?
west of that, isn't it?
Well, use the pointer. Where is the Jewish quarter of today? Okay, let me draw it for you now. Okay, the Jewish quarter of today, basically, okay, everyone take off your pointers 1 second. This is the old city of today. The old city of ancient times, in the time of David HaMelech and Shlomo HaMelech, when he actually built a temple, was actually from the Temple Mount going down the hill. Today, which is an area called Silwan. Okay? Rabbi Geller, would it be possible to look like on a map, on a modern map? On a modern map. It's a very, very good question, Arya. I'm glad you're asking it. Sure, it would be my pleasure. Let us look over here. Let me bring up a map of Yerushalayim today. Okay. Here is Yerushalayim of today. Can someone use a drawing tool and draw where Ir David is? Remember, Ir David, yes, Rabbi Rausman. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay. The city of David, exactly as it looked like then, and the city of David as it's like today. Quite remarkable. Now I see there's a chat. Okay. Avinoam wants to know what happened to the old wall. The question is excellent.
And the fact that we know Solomon's pools are, in the modern day, a little bit south of Bethlehem.
That was during the time of the second temple. They are called Solomon's pools. It's one of the misconceptions. They were from the second temple actually built by Herod. In the time of the first temple, Ir David was a very, very small area. Remember, it was only the spring in the area over here. Actually, there was one on top of the hill as well, but the main spring was right over here. It's a spring called the Shiloach Spring. The spring was right outside the walls, and for people to be able to get the water from the Shiloach Spring, they would actually be able to step right outside the walls and get the water from the spring.
But Rabbi, what good is it if a spring is outside of the wall? We know that, especially today, we know that there was a siege around the walls of Jerusalem.
Quite an excellent question, which actually brings us to one of the most amazing archaeological findings probably in the last century, which, by the way, is there till this very, very day. It went underneath the city and ended up more or less where my hour is pointing to right now. And that became a pool where it ended called the Shiloach Pool, Brechat HaShiloach. Let me actually show you a picture of where the spring actually originates from. Here is the end of the tunnel, and here's where the water comes out from. So Avinoam's question was excellent. Chizkiyahu dug a tunnel through the city, bringing the water into the city. So we once again hear the picture of Ir David. We see the origin of the tunnel over here. Okay, and we see it going through the city of David, ending up over here. There were other canals taking the water to water the fields as well. And of course, here you see the natural valley around it, which gave it natural protection. So it wasn't really a structure of Avinoam. It was more like they covered it up with blocks that made it look like it was part of the scenery, and like the spring was coming from underground already within the city of David. Here in the chat, Nachman Sharf is asking a question. He's asking, how do we know this is the same location? Maybe there's a similar location elsewhere in the world. 15, 20 years ago, it was a good point to ponder upon. It's by far, City of David by far is one of the most exciting and constantly evolving archaeological sites, sites in the world. Every single year they're discovering more and more and more artifacts. They're discovering the ancient houses of the time of Shlomo HaMelech. They're discovering the signs of the siege in the old city. They're finding the walls surrounding Ir David. They're finding actually names of people that are coming up from the coins and the stamps of that time. To make a long story short, they found the highways, the roads, the houses, the emblems, the names. It's just so unbelievable. And also the story of Chizkiyahu HaMelech digging the tunnel is also remarkable. They found the tunnel itself. But that is nothing. There's actually, in the museum in Turkey, when they first began the excavations over here many years ago, like 100 and some years ago, they were going through the tunnel and they actually found an inscription in Hebrew describing the buildings of archaeological digs, which are not conceptual or philosophical or anything else. It's actual facts of things that they found, points to it 100%. No ifs, ands, and buts. Okay, it was really a pleasure. I thank you all for joining us on the Shir on Ir David. And Be'ezrat Hashem, next year we'll be talking about the Temple Mount itself and the location of the Kotel. Okay.